Okay, so here's the new moon report for November 7th coming up. Yeah, there's a lot here. And also remember, this weekend coming up, November 2nd through the 4th, is the Ahimsa Yoga Festival. And I'm actually going to have a booth there in the Venda area where I'm going to be giving away, not giving away, I'm giving readings, but they're short. I think, let me see, this is my little stand thing. What is it? 15 minutes on the spot readings for $10. You know, sun, moon, ascendant type of thing. So that's happening November 2nd through the 4th at Hunter Mountain. I'm going to put the link in the video. So if you want to come and hang out with me for a little bit, that would be awesome. And then I'm teaching, I'm doing a presentation of a workshop called the True Moon Workshop. So that's Saturday at 3 o'clock, I think. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Okay, so that was my little broadcast announcement. So anyway, I pull up the chart for the new moon, and I'm kind of looking at it like, whatever, you know, seeing. And then I noticed a few things, and then everything just came together. So, first of all, you know, I'm Sidereal Astrologist, so I use the accurate size of the constellations in the sky. So, you know, Virgo is one of the biggest constellations. It's not 30 degrees. It's actually like 44 degrees. And as an astrophotographer, that's my background, is that I know that to be true because in the spring we call that Virgo season because so many galaxies are in Virgo. It's actually called the Virgo supercluster, and we're part of that. We're the Milky Way galaxy, and also Andromeda is part of that. So yeah, I know that to be true, and that's like when we have fun, you know, we're photographing galaxies all night long. So, and it's interesting because, you know, I confirm that scientifically, and then in like astrotheology and cosmology, we know Virgo to be the Virgin Mother Mary, you know, and there's everything that points to like this cosmic mother that gives birth, and here you all have all these galaxies in this one cluster in Virgo, right? The cosmic mother. So yeah, it's awesome. So what I noticed, and we're going to go into detail on it when I pull up the chart and show it to you, you know, share my screen. But Venus is in 33 degrees Virgo at the time of the new moon. So, you know, I go deep with stuff. So I'm going to share a few notes that I have. And I asked this question about 33 degrees years ago, all right? I think maybe 2016. I'll read the question, I'll show it to you. It says, question, 33 degree Freemason, rules for one age 30 degrees, with opportunity to enter 3 degrees into the second for another chance to rule. And then I wrote, is that possible? Because that's how my mind thinks. It's like I think of crazy shit. Okay, so here it is. Here, I'll show it to you. Can you see it with all the lights and stuff? All right, so that's it right here. Those are my notes. You know, like a few years ago. So then a couple years pass on, and then I'm reading this book called Astrotheology and Sidereal Mythology, which I'll put the link in the video. And I'm going to read something from the book, and then I'll show it to you. And Masonic degrees of matriculation represent degrees of arc. Allegedly, the highest degree is the 33rd, which just happens to be how many degrees it takes for the sun to enter and completely leave a single astrological sign. So, yeah, like I come across this and I'm like, this is all... Yeah, exactly right. Okay, so can you see that? Yeah, the light. All right. So yeah, so that's kind of something interesting to kind of know. So then I want to bring everything over to more energetic stuff, right? So if I'm looking again, and we're going to go over in detail, but Venus is squaring Pluto, trining up on Mars, and it's opposing Uranus, which is a lot of powerful energy, but also it has a sextile to the galactic center, which I've been freaking out about the galactic center because it's a highly charged electromagnetic energy, just like the sun. But instead, they say, NASA proves that the galactic center is 30 billion suns. It has the energy of 30 billion suns, the electromagnetic frequency of 30 billion suns. And how you can look at it with your naked eye, that's the Milky Way. And that's the center of the Milky Way. That's what they call the dark rift. So a lot of cosmology points to the dark rift. Also, it looks like a horse. It's like the darkness in there. And that's where the whole sun passed through on 2012, and it said that the dark rift. So there's a lot of stuff there. But anyway, Venus has a sextile to that galactic center at the new moon. So yeah, so I'm kind of like looking at the chart and knowing all this, and then I get a message from a friend of mine that got a video about all this volcanic activity. And then the guy in the video is showing the planets. And he's showing that the last time that a lot of volcanic activity happened, the planets looked the same way, which was they were all on one side of the chart. And if you can see here, which I'll show you on the screen share when we do it, but you can see all the planets are on one side of the chart. So now I'm like, well, okay, so, and her comment to me was like, I can't believe the planetary influences really do have an effect. So at this point, I want to share with you where my studies have led me and share a few books, because my studies have led me to astrology is about electromagnetic frequency. It's not really about gravity, it's about electromagnetic frequency, which then leads me into researching string theory, which then led me into the whole thing about quantum entanglement, which the energy of two particles are instantaneous. One moves and the other moves at the same time. There's no lag. There's no speed of light. Speed of light doesn't exist. So it's instantaneously. So that's the cause. The influence of everything is connected and moving. So we influence everything. Everything influences us, which is why it makes sense to pay attention to the planetary influences, because those are considered the gods. They're in control. So I'm gonna highlight a few books for you that will kind of bring you to that space of study, or that area of study. First, I'm going to show you that book that the Astrotheology book. Okay, so here's the cover. You can read it, but again, I'll put the link in the video. I think I can just get this from Amazon. All right, so that book, get that book. That will kind of like will satisfy you a lot. All right, and then a couple others. All right, this is super strong. This is Percy Seymour, and this is the scientific proof of astrology. This is a hard book to get. I think it was expensive, and it's used. It smells like mold, but I got it. I think it was like $90 or something like that. So just try to get this. If you can't, there's other books by him, but this is good. So look at this study that he did. I'm going to try to put this link. I think I have it saved. This is about the electromagnetic energy of the sun and how it relates to the planets. All right, so I'll put the link, and if I don't, just Google all this and you'll get it for yourself. So then the next part, book that's awesome is this book here, is The Case for Astrology by John Anthony West, which a lot of us know John Anthony West and the late John Anthony West. So that's a great book to kind of add to your library. Let's see if anything else that I have to share. I think that's it for now. On this part, now we're gonna go to my screen share, and we're gonna kind of walk through the chart and have a new moon reading. Okay. Hopefully I'll see you this weekend. Here we have the chart up now for the new moon November 7th, right? So here, let's just point out a few things. So here we have that Venus we spoke about in Virgo, 33 degrees, which we spoke about, the Masonic degrees of high order. Yeah, so that's cool. So now, but I want to point out here, the moon is in Libra, and the sun is in moon. So yeah, most people are like, what? No way, how? Right? And then they start sharing all these other posts about the moon being somewhere else, and I'm the shithead that has to tell them no, it's up in the sky, and then people kind of like, I don't know, kind of whatever. Okay, so anyway, I'm that guy. that will fuck up your show. So anyway, let's confirm that. Show you my telescope program, how it works. So here, we took the target off. We're going to type in moon. We're going to find it. The target goes on to the moon. Same time, you're going to see it's in the constellation of Libra. You're going to see this whole constellation here is Libra. Alright, so that's confirmed through astronomy in the sky as we see it. New moon is in Libra. Okay, so back to the reading. Second thing we spoke about, which I think is awesome, is this galactic center right here is conjunct the ascendant, which means the galactic center is rising and the galactic is Fucus. And I'm going to do a video on the galactic center and a whole video on the power of a Fucus 15 zodiac sign and why it's hidden from humanity and all that. But what I want to point out to you is this book here. Here we go. Cosmic Influences on Human Behavior by Dr. Michelle Guaquilin. And you see that point here is the rising. Okay, so the scientifically on the planets is these are the strongest influences here. So if a planet is right at that point, it's the strongest. And over here, the midheaven culmination, it's strong. So that's scientifically proving that this angle that you see right here, the rising, is the strongest, which is why they say sign is strong. Okay, so so that's the galactic center, and there's a sextile between Venus and the galactic center during this new moon, which is in Virgo, while it's 33 degrees. So there's kind of how can we say that? This sort of initiation, which is that trial of Inanna. So the initiation shows me that she's like, you know, past initiation, and now she's 33 degrees, which is the higher order of the Masonic, the Masons, right? Freemason. So then you look at again what's the masculine doing, and the masculine is here, the Mars, Capricorn. So it's a little bit frustrated, but those two together, there's a trine. So it seems like the masculine and feminine supporting each other again. So I like to see that. But also that's also lust too. That's like the Venus Mars lusty thing. And there's a lot of things pointing to that energy of this new moon. So it could be Venus could be having some wild celebration. So only thing I can say is just keep it sacred, man, because that's always the best. When you keep that energy sacred, it's even more powerful. So yeah, so what I mean by that is, if you can see here, there's the Pluto is squaring up on Venus, and I have a lot of stories about Venus Pluto. When it's in hard aspect like a square, there's a lot of sexual energy going on, and some of it can be heavy. So then you can see here there's a Venus opposing Uranus right here. All right, so that's liberation. That's like free. Like you can't hold it down. So I think during the new moon, the Venus energy, the sexual goddess energy, is going to have a great celebration. And depending on how strong the masculine is at this point, can they support that? Can the masculine support the Venus being wild and sexually strong and expressive? Because Uranus is expressive. So that's happening, and that is and it's that square with the Pluto. So it's like, and it's that sextile with the galactic center. So Venus is strong, and she's celebrating on this new moon, which she has every right to. So if I was to give any advice at all, I would say with this sexual energy, this celebration, this lust, just do what you can to keep it sacred. I mean, that's the only advice I would offer if I was ever to even offer advice. So yeah, so that's what's going on. And then what's interesting is what we spoke about before is this volcanic activity that's going on, because all the planets are hanging out here on one side, which and that video I shared with you that my friend showed me is like, that's creating a lot of volcanic activity, which makes it more like exciting. Venus sextile galactic center square, Pluto trine Mars opposite Uranus, like so. Yeah, so I'm just seeing all of that, and new moon, is a time to plant start new, start fresh. And she just finished her, what it seems like somewhat, the trial. She's almost coming to the end of the descent of Inanna. So yeah. So let's see if I have anything else written out here. I don't think I do. I think we covered a lot in this video. So again, this weekend, November 2nd through 4th, I'll be at the Ahimsa Yoga Festival. And I hope to see you there. I have a workshop scheduled on the 2nd. No, on Saturday. I think it's at 3 o'clock. So, and that's in upstate New York at Hunter Mountain. So, yep. See ya.